Okay, we should be on screen right now. Hi everyone, welcome to the Hohner live stream here on the Hohner YouTube channel. This is episode number 21 already. Really looking forward to this. Amazing guest today. This is Filip Jers from Stockholm, Sweden. Great that you're
Hello
here.
there. Thank you for the invitation.
Nice. That's actually not too big of a problem. We have like the same time zone, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, this is the easiest to manage, maybe.
Yeah, fantastic. So, if you don't know Filip, he's like one of the best players on both the diatonic harmonica and the chromatic, which is very rare, and maybe also like one of the few players who actually studied music.
Yeah, on the harmonica.
Yeah, we should talk about this later. That's very interesting. Filip, you also won the World Harmonica competition in Trossing. That was in 2005.
Yeah,
So
exactly. 15 years ago. Wow.
that's a proof for you. So Filip
Yeah.
can really play. So feel free to ask any questions you have to Filip in the chat. We are reading everything. Great that Tina is already here. She's from Stockholm.
Great.
Mark from Boston, Maxim from Copenhagen,
Ah,
and Lucas, I think from Italy. I'm not sure.
Wow.
So tell all your harmonica friends to tune in right now.
Great.
So it's a great situation online, at least right now. We are very active online. I mean, Filip, you too. You started to do a lot of live streams online.
Yeah.
On Facebook. Did you do some Instagram?
Yeah, I've been trying every platform, I think, just to see how they work, because I never had time to do it before. And I mean, that's what left right now, because all the gigs are gone for me at the moment. So
it's crazy. Like, when did you play your last gig?
It was 13th of March, I think.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I think I played on 12th of March.
Yeah. And then, but it will come back. I mean, music and art always survives. So, but I mean, it's a bit stressful, but at the same time, all this time that we have now is kind of, I don't think I will ever have this amount of free time, or I mean, this open calendar again. So if I have focus, I mean, and that means I can practice a lot. I have lots of time to dig into music and creativity, and I mean, that is kind of hard to manage when you freelance and tour all the time.
That's so true.
So I hope some good thing will come out of this.
Yeah. So it sounds like you really adjusted to the situation and you're not bored at all.
I was that for first. I had like 3 weeks of super happiness, and then 2 weeks of very bored and down. And now I'm back online, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, same thing here. Yeah, it's just weird.
Yeah, but we are in this together, so
it's just great that we can do this. So
yeah,
more people are tuning in from Barcelona, Florida. More people from Florida, Toronto.
Mm-hmm.
Great that you're here.
Great.
Yeah. So, I mean, I already know a lot about you, and we met at some harmonica festivals. And as you reminded me, I contacted you very early on via MySpace, which is crazy.
I think that was like 2007 or 2008.
Yeah.
And you had just started to play harmonica.
Had to be 2008, yeah.
Yeah, 2008, exactly, yeah.
Yeah. But when did you start to play harmonica?
That was 2001.
Okay.
When I was...
So it only took 4 years for you to become the harmonica champion at the World Harmonica Festival.
Yeah, that's true. I never thought about that.
But did you play any other instruments before, or what was like your musical background? What did you listen to?
Yeah, I mean, I started on on cello when I was 8 or something, but I never really wanted to play it. I just started because my parents thought it would be nice.
Yeah.
So I didn't do it. I was more into TV games and skateboard. But then when I turned kind of 12 or something, I got a guitar, and I there was a friend in my school that played and sang guitar, and I thought he was so cool. And then the music just hit me very strong. So I kind of learned how to play guitar really fast because my hands were strong from playing cello, even though I didn't think about it. It was pretty fast to just adapt to the guitar.
Yeah.
And then we started to playing together. And then I wanted a more portable instrument than the guitar. And also my father, he played harmonica and guitar. So he taught me both instruments in the beginning.
Wow. So that's how he started.
Yeah. And my father, his best number was Help Me by Sonny Boy Williamson. But when I learned that one, he thought it was not funny anymore. Then he wanted to quit because I could do it as well.
I understand.
Yeah.
So are your family, are your parents musicians, or was that just
No,
a hobby?
Yeah, on my mother's side, she is a big music lover. She loves music, but her father was a musician.
Okay.
And also a forest, but like a plumber working in the woods. But he played piano and accordion, and trumpet in kind of jazz bands. And then my uncle was also a musician for a while. And then on my father's side, my father was playing lots of gigs in his younger days, but he was a photographer by profession. But he was also a big music lover and had lots of guitars and harmonicas and records. And so, I mean, there have been professionals, but it has mostly been, I was really raised that there were instruments all over the house and everyone loved music. So, and I think that's kind of can really be good. And also I know many amazing musicians that are on a super level and their parents don't own a record player. So, I mean, that's not what put you on the path, but it can definitely help, I think.
That's great. So, when I discovered you, there was probably in 2008.
Yeah.
I think the first video I saw was you playing in a trio setting with bass and mandolin, which probably later became or already was known as your band Primus Motor. Is that you?
Oh yeah, yes, that was
And
that one is still on YouTube.
And you played Coly's Wheel.
Ah, yeah. That's a song I learned from Brendan Power.
So did you actually get lessons from Brendan Power, or how did you learn? Was there
No, I met him in Trossingen in Germany on a harmonica festival that I visited 2003. And there I met Joe Felisco, Brendan Power, Carlos El Jonco, Steve Baker. And I went there for like a week to study. And then they said, you should come to the World Harmonica Festival in 2 years.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, yeah, I will start to practice. So, yeah.
So you didn't have like any instructions before that, any lessons with harmonica players?
No, just my father. And I mean, it was more like jamming. I mean, he taught me how to get a single note and how to bend. And that was it. And then I learned the rest myself.
So you actually started out on the Diatonic?
Yeah, I did.
And when did the Chromatic get into your life?
Actually, I bought my first Chromatic on after I won. Because in this World Harmonica Championship in Trossingen, I won on Diatonic in blues and jazz, and then I bought a Chromatic on that festival because I think I want to learn this one as well, because I've already started to listening to Toots and Stevie and all that stuff, and I really wanted that sound as well. And also many of the blues players played Chromatic very good, so I just felt that I will start this as well. And also it felt like the music was there, all the notes were there directly. So it was, it took me on another journey, kind of.
Yeah, I mean, I can imagine. I mean, Most people don't know, but I play a little chromatic too.
In secret.
The big secrets. Yeah, like
Yeah.
for all that Stevie Wonder stuff.
Mm.
And I mean, over some songs, just the sound works for me a little better.
Yeah. I mean, I see it mostly as if I was playing saxophone. Let's say I was a woodwind player. Then I played sax, and then I knew how to play clarinet, and I knew how to play flute, maybe. Or if I was a guitar player, which I am. But if I play guitar, I can play a little bit of bass. I can play some mandolin and some banjo, maybe.
Yeah.
So I don't try to put the instrument in boxes, and if you play this, don't touch this one. I have learned so much about music playing many instruments, and also regarding harmonica, I have learned so many things about being a harmonica player. I mean, when you play both chromatic and diatonic, you learn so much about muscles, embouchure, intonation, airflow.
Yeah, that's
For
what
me,
I wanted to
everything.
ask. Like, did
Yeah.
like one or the other influence the other instrument?
Yeah, totally. I think, and I cannot make like a list of everything, but it's always sounds and stuff that goes into your subconscious somehow. I mean, that this note feels like this on this instrument, so how will it feel now? But it has taken me. I mean, I've had periods in my life where I really focused on the diatonic, and then really focused on the chromatic, and then really focused on combining the both. So it's and I don't have exactly the same amount of repertoire on both instruments. I mean,
Yeah.
some songs I do more on the chromatic, and some songs I do on the diatonic. But yeah, they are very fruitful together, actually, I think.
Yeah, I think so too. At least like knowing about the other instrument a little
Yeah,
is worth a lot.
yeah, and then I also kind of a few years ago I bought a clarinet instead of a new smartphone, and
Wise
that
choice.
was more instruments. But that was also, I never played clarinet. I played a little bit of sax and flutes when I was in high school, just trying to get a sound. But playing clarinet also influenced me as a harmonica player, just to be able to play a little, because you
Yeah.
really learn about tone to support from the stomach. And so I really think every wind instrument that you can get your hands and your mouth on can kind of help you develop as a harmonica player. But at the same time, some of the wind instrument can really make the lips become pretty sore. So don't play
Too much
1
trumpet.
hour no and then go for a harmonica gig. It will just
Yeah.
be saliva all over.
But yeah, that's so true. I mean, I started out with clarinet,
Yeah,
and
okay.
I do a little bit of singing. I got some singing lessons.
Mm.
So I mean, all of this helps. There's a great question by Lucas Martini from Brazil. He has a kind of a personal question. How do you keep yourselves motivated during this time, and what gives you motivation to go on and study music through the harmonica?
Oh, that's very good. What's keep me motivated is that the music, it lives inside us, and it lives on the internet, and it will live live on the live scene when all this is over. So just prepare for that and do your best. And also, I have always been a person that I can like find an inner peace if I play an instrument.
Yeah.
I can, if I'm stressful or like annoyed or something, then I just take a G harmonica and kind of, then I feel better, kind of. So it's a really reliever for me to play music on my emotional side. And then I don't remember the second question. What was that?
Oh yeah, just like the motivation of like studying music on the harmonica.
Does it? I mean, if you mean on a college level, it was because I wanted to be a musician, and I realized that was the best place.
I think he refers to like just like staying motivated to really learn something new during this time.
Simple answer, because it's fun, and because I have the time for it.
Yeah,
And the
because you
beauty
could
now,
say like there's like no gig where you could play that song.
no, exactly. And a few days ago, I spent like 6 hours of making an arrangement on 6 different electrical bases. And I mean, I had no idea what I did, but I had so much fun.
Yeah.
And I don't have to show that to anyone, but I had the time to do it. So now the creativity process, you can really stay there and be there. And you don't have to, you don't have like a goal with everything that comes to mind. So yeah, but that's how I feel this week. Maybe next week I will be a bit more bored. But and then also, what's always good to remember, if you feel frustrated, kind of, is to go back to the records and to the songs that grabbed you when you were just starting playing music. And those ones you don't have to share with anyone. They can be your personal secret. Or you write a list on Facebook and this is my 10 favorite albums. It doesn't matter. But always go back to your first musical love. Is very, very good vitamins for me as well.
Yeah. That's nice.
Yeah.
I mean, I think like there are a lot of people who also want to like hear some harmonica. I mean, is there like any Irish song you remember, or can you still play Coly's Wheel?
Can I still? Yeah, I think so. And I think I did it on a D harp, but that's so high. I don't want to kill your ears here, but
I think I actually learned it like with your version.
Oh, good. If I do it on a G harp instead. Yeah.
That melody is so beautiful.
Somewhere in the register. Yeah, it's really beautiful. But I
really
think
love it. And then like people say like folk music is easy.
No, folk music is something different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Joey is asking for you to explain the similarities between the chromatic and the diatonic. What do you feel is like pretty much the same?
What feels the same is that it's harmonica both, and that you inhale and exhale, and then that the middle register is tuned the same way. That version is there as well, and then it ends. No, but I mean, the thing with the chromatic is that you have to be a lot more gentle. If you have played mainly blues, kind of, and often into a microphone and a loud band, you really need to adapt your volume and your amount of air pressure when you go to the chromatic, because the chromatic has longer reeds and valves, so it responds faster, hopefully. But at the same time, compared to the diatonic, I mean, many diatonic harmonica players works a lot with articulation and expression. So many people that have played diatonic before, they have this kind of have that bluesy feeling to. It will have that kind of, because some people that only play chromatic can sound maybe a bit too.
Yeah,
it sounds like they did it right, but they don't have worked so much on artistic expression. But I mean, now I'm just making up ideas here. But I mean, there is many things regarding kind of air pressure and also how you behave in the different registers. And also there is a difference of that the notes are in different places. But I mean, you get used to it. You just have to do it a lot. Yeah, that's some of the first answers I have. I don't know if I need to think more on that question, because I mean,
I have another question.
Yeah.
How do you articulate on the chromatic? Is that different from your articulation on the diatonic? And do you do like the tongue articulation with the da on the chromatic at all?
Yeah, I do. On the good thing on the chromatic is that every note is equal. I mean, meaning that you can articulate it in the same way all over the instrument.
Yeah.
Because playing this A note, you can never do on a C diatonic, because it will. It's really tricky.
You can do it, but it sounds like very, very different.
Yeah, exactly. So I do like diddly da having that. But then you can also say ta ti 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 ti, move it a bit further to get more like a sharper sound.
Yeah.
Or you can not, if you not use your tongue, and then move it to the throat, like so you get that kind of glottis sound. This.
Exactly. Yeah.
So you can work with all those.
Because I was kind of surprised, like talking to a lot of Asian harmonica players, classical chromatic players, who only exclusively use like the accents like from the back
of the throat. Yeah, I mean, but if you listen to Toots, he uses the tongue. I mean, when he plays like. He uses it almost like a accordion tremolo, like brrr, and that's so beautiful, I think. And also you can really, I mean, if you work a lot. I mean, there I was using both throat and tongue, so moving in between them.
Yeah.
And I mean, you could do the same on diatonic. It will just sound different. So, and was that your question, or did you have one more?
Oh no, that was my question. Yeah, because I remember being surprised about these classical players only using
and also the back. Yeah, because that's also if you tongue block on the chromatic. I mean, then you have to use the back of your throat.
Yeah, or like
to get that. Yeah.
The middle of the tongue is an option.
But there is like a thing you can do. You can either bite down like this. That I like touch and release. And then there is also like a little spit you can do. Like you train this muscle here, and it. And then I'm using my tongue on the inside of my lip to kind of get a little staccato. And that's tongue blocking.
Nice,
so then you can get still get really staccato sounds.
I mean,
if
I want to do like staccato tongue blocked, it's just like more like the middle of my tongue touching the upper part of my mouth. But that
on a chromatic
too, yeah.
Yeah.
But I never heard about that side thing. That's crazy.
Yeah, and that's pretty cool because it really, I mean, if you're used to. That's very sharp, kind of trumpet stylish. And that I learned that from Robert Bonfiglio. He told me that it's doable, but he couldn't show it, of course. But I heard the sound and tried to emulate it.
Nice. So there's a question by B. Harpy. For a diatonic player, what's the first thing you recommend learning? What's the first thing you do with your diatonic harmonica students?
That's a good question because I haven't had a beginner in such a long time.
Oh, wow, okay.
But I think what I really think they should focus on is to think that you're breathing through the harmonica, that they don't kind of blow and draw like. I mean, that they really should Just they
You
shouldn't
don't
be
have to
dizzy.
move so much air.
No, and then also really get a clean single note, because many people are like, now I know it. It's here, but it should be like, yeah. Now I failed. But you
Yeah.
understand that they become even more precise, really focusing on single notes to get them super clear every time you pick up your instrument. That you get a single note, that you don't have to go from many holes to one. That's very interesting stuff to do in the beginning. And then I also think many people should, when they get a little more advanced and bend notes, that they should really work on bending the notes in tune. To really get them sounding good in relation to other notes, because the bent notes are not just a bent note, it's a note. But the technique is that you bend the note. And on other wind instruments, you can work on that. You might know, on clarinet, if you think clarinet, the what do you say, the second C. Do you remember how you do that?
Oh yeah, I do. Yeah.
Yeah, it's all fingers down and 2 thumbs. Yeah. And then you remember the A, kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's just this finger, and that's like 1 to 9, and that thing can like take almost half a year to get fluent, kind of. And that I think so. Harmonica players should also kind of, pay respect that it's hard to get some note. Just like, I can't overblow on the second try. I will not use it. It's bad.
Yeah.
They should kind of respect that it takes time to get all the notes, and to get them to sound good. I'm still working a lot on hole 7, hole overdraw. That's the one I feel that it's not there with me all the time in the way I want it. But yeah.
Yeah, actually, I think I do a lot of chugging with my beginner students.
Yeah.
Just of course, like for the people who can't like play a single note in the beginning, just to already make as much music as possible.
Of course, yeah. That's. But actually, I have taught beginners. I had a project where I taught I did this project for 2 years, but I taught 1,000 kids to play the harmonica. Every kid was given a harmonica and a lesson with me, and we had like a jam session together. It was lots of noise, and we didn't meet all the time,
Nice.
but we met like 15 at a time, and they learned how to do. That's the first thing we did.
Yeah.
And then they learned how to play like a simple melody, kind of.
That's interesting.
So
I think I also gave like a workshop for complete beginners in my age, like 2 years ago, which was exciting. Like usually the people I teach, they are not my age.
No, exactly. No. And also, teaching, yeah.
Something we did was also like playing like a little montuno or something, like a Latin thing, like between like D minor and C major.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's great.
And that's a lot of fun for people at my age.
Yeah,
there was actually like kind of a disco party like every evening or something. And like at one point there was like there's some technical problems or something. And then some of the students like picked up their harmonicas and played that, and everybody was going crazy and dancing to that groove.
That's beautiful. Yeah. Wow. Yeah, because the diatonic harmonica is so unique because it's both like a rhythm instrument and a chordal instrument and a melody instrument. And the chromatic is that as well, but a little bit more limited in the chords. But you can get lots of chords on the chromatic. As well.
Yeah.
But it will never have the same sound as the diatonic, of course. So.
Nice. Yeah. Yeah, it's really about chugging for me with beginners. Mark says, to you, I love one of your last streams about exercises you put into your practice and how you manage your time during practice. You motivated me a lot into learning main triads and inversions on the 16
good.
chromatic.
Nice. Happy to
That's
hear.
amazing.
Yeah.
There's B Harpy again. For a diatonic player, what's the first thing you recommend learning in order to start with the chromatic?
Oh, that's a good one. Wow, good questions. I mean, maybe they should learn how to play melodies really well. I mean, that depends on the music you have played before, because it's so. I mean, if you have played folk music on the diatonic and then want to play chromatic, or you played blues on the diatonic and want to move to chromatic, but I would say really learn like 5 melodies very strong, 5 songs very strong, and then you can start with them directly on the chromatic, because when you move to another instrument, it's always easier if you have the music in your brain or inside you. Because if you, let's say you want to play Autumn Leaves, kind of, and then I have never played Autumn Leaves on diatonic, but I want to do it on chromatic, and I have never played chromatic. Yeah. And that means I both have to learn the chromatic and Autumn Leaves. But if I learn Autumn Leaves on this harmonica that I have played for a while, then I know Autumn Leaves here, and then I just have to get it out on this one. You have like half the work, the amount of work you have to do is half, and so that's a thing I do on almost every instrument I try. I try to like learn the same songs on every one of them, because that really speeds up the process. Because otherwise you're learning both an instrument and music at the same time. So that's one tip I would give.
Okay, yeah. When I bought my first chromatic, I think it was just because I listened to a lot of Dennis Grönling. And I wanted to play blues in D minor on the C chromatic. Yeah. With a lot of tongue blocking and stuff. So that's what I did for a long time. Just like doing that blues swing stuff he does.
Yeah. I have not listened so much to that. I mean, I think I can I mean, it is this.
Yeah.
I have never played that. I mean, so much live or practice it. For me, the chromatic was Toots Thielemans that really took my breath away. There is a CD recorded in Netherlands in 1982, I think, with Joe Pass and Niels Henning, and there is a song, "Someday My Prince Will Come," that. And I was playing along, and on the diatonic, but then I felt I want to do this like. To get his sound, to get that other sound.
Yeah.
So that's one thing that I started to do when I started with chromatic, was to learn all my repertoire from the diatonic to the chromatic. And I also focused really much on only pucker technique on the chromatic. I started tongue blocking on the chromatic maybe 5 or 6 years ago. Before I was just playing pucker and octaves, then you tongue block. But yeah, it's kind of a different embouchure.
And right now you're just switching between both of them?
Yeah, actually, and I'm working on that a lot, because there is so many things. I mean, it's like, why not practice both? I mean, I use everything I can to create cool music, and also this is a bit smoother sometimes with the tongue block, and also the corner switch when you go back and forth.
Yeah.
Because if you play this phrase like that's A, D, F sharp, if I play that pucker, there will be a little. I have to jump one hole, but if I tongue block. That is totally different.
I think there's a lot to discover with tongue switch, also on the diatonic.
Yeah.
People never did.
No, I mean Howard Levy has started, but I mean on the chromatic it's crazy, because then you can do this. kind of
Yeah, I mean,
breaker style things.
imagine
They
you
jump
could
one
do that
octave.
with any note
Yeah.
on the diatonic. Like,
I mean, that's just a little switch in. That's kind of saxophone licks to be able, but that I can never do in a diatonic. I think.
yeah, but
No,
like
I will not.
imagine being able to
If you
do that,
could.
like with all
Yeah.
the bands and all the overblows. That's something
Yeah.
Howard Levy
Yeah, that's something.
doesn't do either. Like,
No. But
I'm not sure if it's possible. Like,
no, then you have to. I mean, kind of overblow, and you have to be able to do all techniques in both.
on both
in tongue
sides
block.
too.
Yeah, both sides too.
I mean, I
Oh, man.
can do everything tongue block, like also the overblows, but I would really have to work on playing overblows through the left side of my mouth.
But what I'm working on now is really to play on the chromatic, is to play phrases, to play both pucker and tongue block corner switch in the same phrase. I mean, if I play like, now I'm just puckering. It's to be able to play. There I'm starting pucker, but going to tongue blocking.
Yeah.
And then it's one thing just to practice licks in it and arpeggios, but the hardest thing is to improvise on it, because when you improvise, you also think of the melody and the harmony and the rhythm, and you have to think about it. Gets very messy, but it's very, very, very useful. And a great exercise on chromatic is that you take one note. Let's say you take the A, and then you play it first pucker, and then you play tongue block left, and then you go to pucker, and then you play tongue block right. So then you go.
Yeah.
I'm playing the same note, but moving my around here. That's good.
That's a good
one. That can also help you. I mean, if you play like, because if you get stuck, if you play a phrase. On the F
That's
there,
what I wanted to say. Yeah, it gives you like so much flexibility.
Yeah, because there I was stuck. I didn't know what I played. I just made something up. And then I wanted to play more down, and I didn't want to jump. So then I swapped my F blow to a, like, yeah. Kind of moving between.
Yeah.
That's good to do when you have free time.
There's even another question by B. Hoppy. What's your favorite living diatonic player, and what's your favorite living chromatic player?
Oh,
that's a big question.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to say that someone is the best, because everyone has such
it's
a
about
different...
your favorite.
Yeah, it's my favorite, yeah. But I think the one that always make me feel like, now I want to go practice. That's Howard Levy on the Diatonic. It always makes me like, oh yeah, let's go back and to the practice room. And on the chromatic, actually I don't listen so much to chromatic harmonica players.
Yeah, of course.
Actually, I listen a lot to Toots. I mean, but I have one that I really like is Chileo from Hong Kong. He's amazing.
Yeah,
he's
we
totally
did the stream
unique.
together.
Yeah,
last time.
And then there is Antonio Serrano from Spain. Also has something very, very special.
That will be the next stream.
Cool. I will watch. But yeah, good. I don't know. It was a harder one on the chromatic, because I don't know. I have to pass on that question.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Started to use drones for my practicing because I saw Filip Jers using them on some videos. Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would
Great.
always practice these with drones. Like, don't ever download an app or the bendometer.
No. I mean, get a keyboard.
Yeah.
Or YouTube search for Tempura drone.
Yeah.
And then you can spend 30 minutes. If you spend 15 minutes per day with that, everything will improve. it's so good for the brain and for the harmonica muscles really to land on a bent note and really feel it, kind of. And also playing, like working out different positions to a drone. Take a D drone and then first play on a G harmonica, then play on a C harmonica, and then on a A harmonica. And imagine that you should play D major all the time, and you will learn so much on it, playing to a drone.
Also, learning bands, like what I tell my students is like not only to choose the drone of the note you're playing, but also like if you want to practice like the B flat, the 3/2 step bend, maybe choose an F sharp drone to play the major third.
Yeah, exactly.
And make the drone sound major.
Yeah, exactly.
Because like from itself, like the drone is like, it doesn't have any gender. It's not major or minor. It's like what you
no,
do with it.
No. It can have some overtones in fifths, but yeah, it's very useful.
Yeah, so it's a little more major than minor.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe.
Yeah.
But I want to ask you something. How do you practice diatonic these days? Do you have? Because I mean, since I heard you, since your first album, then your tone and your fluency and flow was amazing, and I was like, what does he has left, technical wise, and how that was how old were you then? Like 23, 22 or something?
With the first album?
Yeah, the one where Hohner sponsored.
There was, I think we recorded it here in Hamburg in 2012.
2012.
So I've played for 4 years then.
Wow.
Or like 3.5.
Yeah, beautiful.
And I didn't feel ready to record a CD. It was like the label owner who said, "Yeah, we should record a CD." Yeah, and I was I don't have any tunes.
Oh no.
But somehow it worked out. Like, and after that, I think I was like heavily into all a little more like the electronic stuff and like mixing jazz with hip hop, and I was using the pedal board and stuff. So that's where these compositions came from. And now I'm still listening to a lot of hip hop, and I think my phrasing changed because of that.
Ah, yeah, interesting.
Listening to German hip hop, it's very easy. Like, because the people who are really good, the who can rap really well. I mean, they can really make just a basic loop. I mean, it's just a loop like of 3 minutes or something. They can tell the story over the whole thing and divide it into parts just by being themselves. And they don't have to do like any changes to the beat. It's like playing along to a backing track on YouTube.
Yeah, but they make so much. The music is inside them. Yeah.
That's like us playing to a backing track on YouTube. And if you can tell the story, like, and have like a verse and a chorus and a bridge, I mean, that's a goal. Yeah,
because the computer will never respond to your feelings. I played a few gigs
these beats, and also these. It's like just so defined, like rhythmically. These phrases, like, I think my phrases changed that way too. Or the whole articulation and stuff.
Yeah. Can you show us? Can you play some interesting thing?
Oh no,
or some?
I'm not sure. But also just like, I mean, that's stuff that Jason, which he did a lot. Just some little like mouth sounds coming from the mouth. Like, it's not like beatboxing, but like.
Yeah, exactly.
But just like these little things. I gotta find where's my C harmonica? Stuff like that.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not hip hop influence, but like.
Yeah. And that, but I have been. Yeah, cool.
I mean, that's like very groovy. It's
Yeah,
not
yeah, it is.
beatboxing,
No, but it's
but
like
it
a lot
supports
of
the
ghost.
rhythm a lot.
Yeah, it's like a lot of ghost notes inside, and that's a thing you can also that I have worked a lot on in jazz phrasing, on both on the diatonic and the chromatic. That to play like I mean, to get to be aware of the articulation and to where to hang and where to push a little bit.
Yeah.
Because playing jazz, it's like play in triplets, but you don't play. I mean,
That's so
it will
true.
not swing. No, yeah. So and that's also that's even easier on the chromatic because there every note is equal in terms of timbre,
Yeah.
meaning that you can really work on. You can really work on also kind of backbeat breathing is kind of interesting, that you get.
Oh yeah. It's like just swinging with your breath at the same time while playing.
Yeah, and that's a great.
And
And
even
there
in
is
blues,
that's
it's like
yeah, and I got that from folk music a lot as well, because playing with fiddle players, they do that with the bow. And
Yeah.
if I play a minor polska here from Sweden, it's like. To get that groove,
Yeah.
to get that backbeat.
And I mean, you really got to remember, like, rhythm is the most important thing in
Yeah,
music.
of course it
Way
is.
more
Yeah.
important than the notes.
Yeah, and also that's a good. I mean, just a practice thing. I mean, I started metronome wise. My metronome life started after I was done with the music college. I have practiced so much more to a metronome, and I do every day now for the last kind of 7 or 8 years. Because I noticed some things that I wanted to work on, but I was not, when I was younger, I didn't like play to a metronome for 3 hours. I was just playing with other musicians, which I think maybe is healthier in the long run. But nowadays I work a lot with a metronome. And I always put it on really low beats, kind of not, to have it like mark the 1 or mark just 2 and 4 or something, or maybe just the 4 or something.
Yeah, that's really good. Yeah, so I remember seeing a video like many years ago on YouTube where Victor Wooten is showing like how he uses the metronome, and then he's practicing along to the metronome, just being the 4 end of the bar.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
just like dum, 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 dum.
Yeah,
that was nice.
Yeah, that's where the groove is inside you, and then you just relate to what's happening.
Yeah.
So
Sydney says, go for 90s American hip hop. This is the real stuff.
Interesting. Yeah.
I'm sure I listened to some of that. But like right now it's like interesting, like with all that trap music, it's like the phrases got shorter and even more rhythmic.
Yeah.
That's what I think is that's something that influences me a lot. But it really depends on the music you're listening to. There's like so much rhythmical information to discover listening to the different types of swing in like South American music. There's like you can study that for your whole life.
Yeah. And I mean, with every kind of music, I mean, and it never ends. I have had really hard time to turn off my jazz things when I play folk music. I mean, I play a bit too jazzy when I play folk music. I really, but I'm working on that, and it's interesting, but at the same time, you should be allowed to sound like yourself. I mean, depends on how deep you want to go into everything.
Yeah. Did you transcribe many jazz solos to learn phrasing?
No, I have not actually. I also started this last month because I never did it so much. I think I learned like Miles solo on So What when I was like 16.
Yeah, everybody did.
But yeah, exactly. But otherwise, I have not been that kind of lick person that collects lots of licks. I've tried to make my own, I think.
Yeah.
And I try to listen more for the thing that's going on, for how they use like dynamics and how they play high notes or low notes, if they play intense, if they play relaxed, and I can like hear what's going on. I don't really need to transcribe it all, but at the same time I learned some Toots solos actually last month, and really played along with him, and that's really interesting to really and that was to be honest, it was a lot more easier than to describe a sax solo, because that one is not written for the harmonica. So but I really more try to really feel inside and hear what does a ninth sound on a minor seventh chord, and how does a flat fifth sound, or how does an 11th sound on a minor seventh flat five chord, that you really get the sound inside of you. But people are so different. But I have not transcribed that much, actually.
Interesting. When did you start to play the diatonic chromatically? How long did it take you to play all the overblows?
That's good. I think it took me like... I met Mark Breitfelder, a great German harmonica player.
He actually said hello earlier in the chat.
Guten Abend, Mark. Alles gut. I met him like 2002. He was playing a gig in Sweden, and then he was just coming out doing all his licks, and I was like, how does he get that note there and there and there? And he was very friendly and just showed me, I do this and that, and you have to. So I think I had played harmonica for 1 year when I was introduced to overblows.
Okay.
So they have always kind of been a natural part of my playing. I mean, it has. I started very early to do overblowing and overdrawing, and I don't know if that, has to matter. But for me, when I was starting out on harmonica, overblowing was very hip, kind of.
There's another question by B. Harpy. That's a funny one. If you could only take one diatonic harp to a desert island for a really long time, which key would it be?
G harmonica.
Interesting.
Yeah. I love that sound. G directly. I think that's the one I play every day. I have my kind of warm up that I always do, doing these kind of breathing patterns, and I really have mapped out the G harp in my brain pretty good. But it's pretty tricky to play jazz on G harp. For jazz keys. So then I often take I often use like a B flat
That's what I would take to the desert island.
A B flat, okay, yeah. But if it's interesting.
It's also the best harmonica I have, like.
Yeah, but I also think harmonica is so personal, because every keyed harmonica resonates different in your mouth and in your throat. Because I'm very bad on harps higher than C.
Yeah.
But some people can play amazingly on a D and E flat harp, but for me, I have hard time controlling them. I have easier to go downwards, actually. But but that's a good question. But I also love that
he would also bring his G harp, so you could play together.
Yeah, good choice. And that, I mean, you can expand that question even further. Which keyed chromatic would you take to a desert island? And that's a subject on itself. Yeah, I mean, I think I would take a 16 hole, a big one, to a desert island.
Yeah. You think is there like a jazz standard we could trade like solos over before ending this?
I think there is a huge delay. I think I see
just
you,
like trading like the whole chorus.
Oh yeah, but then maybe do it non-tempo. So we do it rubato. I think that will be easiest for the timing.
Yeah, I mean we don't have to catch up in time for the bar one, I think.
No.
Just do it in time and...
Yeah, sure. Which one should we do?
Just let me know. Or do you want to play Someday My Prince Will Come? You already did that.
Yeah, but do you play it then? This will never. There will never be another you.
I think we could do that. Yeah.
On a B flat. That's interesting to go between.
That's a good exercise.
That's a good exercise. Yeah.
I'm wondering
Yeah.
like how that last chord sounded for
Yeah,
people
interesting.
listening.
Yeah, thanks for staying with us until the last chord.
Yeah, great. Let us see if we missed anything. Um, don't you get any confused when switching from 12 to 14 to 16 hole chromatics?
Yes, a little bit. I mean, for me, it's easier to switch between 12 and 16.
Okay.
I have some 14s, but I don't use them so much, actually. I stick to 12 and 16.
Nice. Yeah, I think that's it with the questions. Is there
Yeah.
anything left? Let us know. If not, I think I linked like all information on Filip in the description box below, so you can check out his YouTube and his Instagram and follow him everywhere.
Yeah, cool.
Where can people listen to your music or buy your CDs?
The CD business is not so active. But I think CD Baby might have some of my CDs still. But otherwise, I'm on Spotify and Apple Music and iTunes. And otherwise, I post all over from time to time as well.
Yeah. So there's definitely a lot to come.
Yes.
A lot of creative energy in this situation right now.
Yeah, let's stay there and try to do that. I mean, but at the same time, it's also totally okay to just watch movies all day and eat snacks, because I mean, the musician life is always so much forward and so intense. So it's that. But I think we.
Yeah, I'm thinking about buying a PlayStation.
Oh, yeah, I have actually. I quit playing TV games when I was like 18. I felt like I have to stop. Yeah.
Wow, yeah. Because I never really did. I only played
Oh,
like some
no.
computer games.
Oh,
but
wow.
only like I didn't play like FIFA. I just played Football Manager.
Ah, interesting.
I was
Yeah.
like
Besides harmonica, I play lots of guitar right now, and then I do lots of yoga, and then I run a lot in the nature, and I read books.
Yeah.
That's yeah. And now I also work on some grants and applications during this time for some support.
Yeah, of course. I'm running a lot. Yeah. I
Yeah,
woke
you're
up
also a runner.
at 6 to run today.
Oh, wow. That listen and learn, everyone.
I'm tired right now.
Yeah. Wow.
And yoga is so good. It's so
Yeah, I
important.
mean it helps for everything. And it helps with the breathing on the harmonica as well. That's like one of the tip. When I started, I do Ashtanga yoga, and there is a thing that you breathe like hot air, that you have this kind of thing going on.
Yeah.
And doing that on the harmonica really improved kind of tone and sound and awareness for me. So yeah, that's also worth to check out.
Nice. Last question by Ingo.
Yeah.
Do you customize your diatonic harmonicas?
Yes, I do. I customize them myself. I've been doing that since I when I met since, I mean, for so many years. When I started Overblowing, I started customizing my own when I was like 15, because I think it's better to be able to do it yourself, because then you can really adjust.
Yeah, at least you do know a little bit about it.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean,
but then
I adjust my customized harmonicas myself.
Yeah, I mean, I think you should, because, and I mean, every professional musician, they adjust their instruments somehow. But I have never like bought a custom harmonica, but I have tried many and learned from them. And then the chromatics I don't customize. Some I have customized, like flat sanding the slider area beneath here.
Okay.
But otherwise, these ones work so amazing. So I just play. But
there were even more questions by Ingo.
Yeah.
Like short questions, short answers.
Yep.
How long do you practice on average per day or per week?
Per day, it's like 3 hours, I think.
And is it a fixed schedule?
No.
Okay.
It develops on time, mood, and feelings, and what I have to do.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's it for today. Thank you so
Yeah.
much, everyone, for tuning
Yeah.
in. Thank you so much, Philip, for taking the time to join this.
Yeah, it was great.
I mean, this was great because I don't know, when did we really talk? Possibly at the Seoul Harmonica Festival
Yeah,
some years ago.
2013.
That was the
And
first one, right?
I played guitar and you played harmonica on a jam session.
Yeah.
I think I remember. So you played Wave, I remember.
I love to play that.
Yeah.
I don't like to play it anymore, to be
Okay.
honest.
It's a good one. I mean,
Yeah.
no, but yeah, it's great to hang out. And I mean, I really see, I like how people share, I mean, their knowledge and their music, and lots of, I mean, top names, musician artists, they have lots of kind of workshops and live streamed gigs coming up. So
Yeah.
it's kind of an interesting time in that way. At the same time, it's a very, very, very different time, and I really miss playing concerts, because when you play a concerts, some feelings comes out that doesn't come in daily life.
Yeah.
And I have been playing concerts since I was like 16, 17 every week, and now I haven't played in 2 months soon. So it's kind of strange as well.
Of course, yeah. So for everyone who's watching, if you want to get more information or talk about like upcoming topics here on the stream or upcoming guests, check out the description box. We have a Facebook group linked below. The next stream is going to be in 2 weeks exactly with Antonio Serrano from Madrid.
I will be online for that one.
I mean, he's playing Chromatic, but I think we can talk about a lot of stuff.
Yeah. And he plays Diatonic as well. I have heard
true.
him.
Yeah. We jammed in Seoul last year, and he played some Diatonic too.
Yeah. So and piano as well, and I think he plays sax as well.
Yeah, and poker.
He's
really good at that.
That's good in these times.
Thank you everyone for watching. See you in 2 weeks. Hope you have a nice day or a nice evening wherever you are.
Yes, take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.